ADHD is having a head that's constantly full of noise and everything comes in at the same intensity.
You had to wait decades for your diagnosis. Why do you think it took so long?
Bluntly, it's because I was female.
There's a stereotype that attention deficit hyperactivity disorder only affects naughty boys.
Small white boys, like just running around in class, that is literally all I knew about ADHD.
It's estimated that at least tens of thousands of women in the UK could have undiagnosed ADHD.
You know there's something, but you don't know what it is.
These women have spent much of their lives feeling misunderstood. For Twiggy, something clicked when she read about a woman's experience on social media.
She's finding it hard to focus at work. She works in a different way to everyone else. So many ideas, but finds it hard to follow through with them. I was like, hold on a second.
She had to persuade her GP to refer her to a psychiatrist.
When I got my diagnosis, I think I started crying. I felt really relieved and I felt happy at the same time because I thought to myself, so all this time, like it wasn't me.
Experts say improving ADHD diagnosis in women is vital, as the longer they go untreated, the poorer their outcomes could be.
We are not identifying young women and girls, and as a consequence of that, we know that they are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and socioeconomic poorer outcomes.
Women who hide their symptoms well can also be misdiagnosed or simply missed.
You learn to suppress who you are so that you can look like a normal person. And then I had a baby, and suddenly that extra pressure, the sleep deprivation, all the wheels fell off. And when he was 3 years old, I had a nervous breakdown.
Hester and her husband have both been diagnosed with ADHD, but they say while his journey took months, hers took years of doctors not listening.
He was taken seriously, he wasn't doubted. At no point did anyone say, oh, could you just be anxious? This sounds like anxiety or depression to me. Here, have some tablets.
You had to wait decades for your diagnosis. Why do you think it took so long?
Bluntly, it's because I was female. You know, and I was in fact told that by the nurse that actually did finally do my diagnosis. You know, she said if you'd been a boy, you'd probably been diagnosed when you were at school.
Research has found girls tend to be missed because their symptoms are more subtle, less hyperactive, more inattentive. Boys are therefore 3 to 4 times more likely to be diagnosed in childhood. The diagnostic gap shrinks in adulthood, but experts say the gender bias remains.
These women haven't woken up in their mid-40s with ADHD. They've been signposts all the way along. We need to raise awareness so people know and understand that ADHD in females presents differently. They need to know that they can't look for the boisterous boys. They've got to look for something different. And that needs to be done in educational settings, across healthcare practitioners.
While a diagnosis brings answers, it raises questions about what could have been. Sheila's life was full of chaos before she found out she had ADHD at 63.
I get myself into situations that I shouldn't be in. Like I've had about 6 car crashes because I'm Superwoman behind the wheel.
She's battled depression and suicidal thoughts. Her impulsive behaviour meant she struggled to work or take care of her children.
I bend over backwards for my kids, but I wouldn't have done then. It was all about me. They've turned out amazingly well, but I'm sad that they've done it in spite of me and not because of me.
All the women we've spoken to say their diagnosis has improved their lives. For some, medication and therapy has helped. For others, all they finally needed were answers.
ADHD is very much still there. It's me, it's a part of who I am. But now I'm able to manage it more.
Things that I used to berate myself for and hate myself for, I now kind of laugh when it happens.
Before, I was like a volcano. Now I'm more like a mountain, gentler, quieter, smoother. And I didn't like me then, but I'm quite fond of me now.